All right, let's recap this Black Myth Wukong thing from the top down. It's first announced that it's coming to PC, it's coming to Xbox, it's coming to PlayStation. Then things shifted. Apparently, it's no longer coming to Xbox, and Xbox people are asking, what's going on? Well, the developers come out and say it's not up to our quality standards, and so we're going to release it. They say they're actually looking forward to it. They ask Microsoft, what's going on? Microsoft says we can't comment on any deals made by third party and even other publishers. Well, who said anything about a deal? Well, apparently that was where the questioning was kind of going, so Microsoft put that to rest. Then we heard a rumor that there was a memory leak issue, of which a lot of people in the software business said memory leaks are software issues. It has nothing to do with hardware. So that basically freed the Series S of any blame that anybody could put on it. Also, seeing hardware like the Steam Deck and underpowered PCs that are pretty much closer to Series S play the game, even though not as satisfactory FPS, it was kind of always understood that maybe they wanted to get more, in terms of optimization out of it, or maybe, as some reports had put, there was an exclusivity deal in place. This was reported across the media, including, according to even those who still don't believe IGN because they think IGN is PlayStation carry water media. They reported it as there were some exclusivity, dealings that went on, especially one that was much more softer that facilitated the PlayStation version to come out ahead of the Xbox version. Now, we're hearing something from a chat that came and dropped on the subreddit Gaming Leaks and Rumors. Apparently, the game director of Black Myth Wukong has communicated that the problem is a skill issue. They say that they do not have as much of an experience to go ahead and optimize the game for the Series S just yet because of the 10 gigs of memory limitation. However, their statement and their stance towards their experience is one that sounds valid, but there are questions that are being asked across the board. One of them is from an audience member of ours, Brother Knowledge. Shout out to you. You asked a very valid question because I think the confusion is here because one person hasn't said anything, and that's Game Science themselves. They haven't come out right to say there is no exclusivity deal. All they've said is we're optimizing the game to meet our standards. We don't have enough experience to go ahead and do it. However, the other person on the other side, which is Sony, is very notorious for copying exclusivity deals and excluding Xbox from games. So it's hard to try to convince anybody with that kind of a statement that doesn't necessarily refute any kind of, those questions. In the case of Baldur's Gate 3, do y'all remember that Cormwelp, who is one of the community managers for Larian Studios, outrightly dismissed that Baldur's Gate was a PS5 exclusive. Bam! Even putting a YouTuber, MBG, on blast in a tweet that's since been deleted. So if a developer has to say anything, they need to come out here and just say it so that people don't start speculating and casting them in a bad light. But here's the question. So, Brad, now that you said, so here's the thing. A thing, not the thing. I'm a facts and evidence kind of guy. So without definitive proof, I can't come to a solid conclusion. You're not the only one. Many of us are still asking what's going on. Even if you're on the PlayStation side, you need to still be asking and say, well, if Baldur's Gate 3 devs did it, what's wrong with you guys coming out to do it? I mean, they won Game of the Year and they still did it. They came out and concluded. I can, however, according to, this comment says, question something that I noticed. Death Stranding, a timed exclusive for PlayStation and Steam platform, dropped on Windows storefront a couple of years after the initial drop, meaning that Death Stranding was playable on Xbox PC launcher years before the full version dropped on Xbox. A different publisher, 505 Games, was used to publish original Until the Xbox app, but the deed was done. Then, this is what I think is what breaks everything. Forspoken, another timed exclusive for the PlayStation console, was released on both Steam and Windows storefront day one, thus allowing the game to be playable on the Xbox app from day one. When I saw this statement, I ran as fast as I electronically could and fired up my Xbox game app, and behold, this game was released January 23rd, 2023. Death Stranding, which is the other game, let's see if the director's cut, when it showed up on here, released November 17, 2024. But is there another version of the game that came out on this app? I don't think we can see it. I guess maybe it's been replaced, or maybe It was already here on Game Pass. I don't even know. I mean, I know I saw it in different places. But the Forspoken one, I'm looking at it and it's the same date as the launch of Forspoken when it came out in 2023. And so the question is being posed here. Why was it not launched on the Xbox app where PC would have been able to have access to it, and it would have basically calmed down the skepticism from people who think that this is an exclusivity deal? Now, you know that the exclusivity deal is actually a big deal for the PlayStation hyperfans who have sworn day and night that PlayStation makes and has all these games. However, 2024 and 2023 haven't been those 2018 years that we saw in the PS4 era, so most hyper PlayStation fans need for this game to not have been money-hatted. And those who are on the Xbox side somewhat would love to know that the game was money-hatted, or at least to know that the Series S is the problem, I guess. But by and large, if we're not asking these questions, the developers continue to be cast in a light of maybe you guys don't want to be transparent to your audiences. So this question says, if there's no exclusivity deal with on for Black Myth Wukong, I don't see any reason why it hasn't dropped on Xbox PC yet. That should already have been done. No. If the consoles were the problem via the Series S, then there will be nothing that will prevent a version of Windows to be available, right? That is my thinking. That's one question from within our audience and our community here. I've seen another question. The other question said, why didn't they approach Microsoft to help them with any issues that they have? Because apparently Microsoft is into that kind of thing. In fact, if you read the articles here, when the memory leak rumors came out, this article here, written by Insider Gaming, is cited in one of its paragraphs as saying Black Myth Wukong delay on Xbox due to memory issues on the Series S is not surprising, as reports about this started emerging last year. A Microsoft representative also refuted this claim, stating that the game was not delayed due to the Xbox platform limitations. However, the CEO has officially confirmed that the Series S optimization issues were why the game didn't make it on the platform. So we have conflicting statements if we wanted to go, is it the platform or is it not the platform? And this question by our audience member is saying, well, if it was the Series S, then why not launch it on the platform, which is also a PC platform, just like Forspoken was launched just a few years ago, which is a very valid question. So at the end of the day, I think I see what might be going on here. The developers seem to be in a very strange place. If they haven't taken an exclusivity deal, the simplest thing to do is say, we have no exclusive deals in place. As long as they have not made that statement, they're going to continue to be cast in the light that they have an exclusivity deal in place. If you think about it, and we have to be fair, the developers from Baldur's Gate 3, aka Cornwell, who's basically, that's his Twitter handle, specifically refuted the thought that Baldur's Gate 3 was a PlayStation exclusive. The tweet has since been deleted, but images of the tweet still exist on Twitter, right here, because MBG said it back then. He said it and said, kind of crazy, Baldur's Gate 3 will be a PS5 console exclusive, and Sony has nothing to do with it. And very AFK replied and said, it's not a PS5 console exclusive, mate. These words will simply quelch all the confusion if the developers at Game Science can just come out and say it. That's it. Now, no one is saying that they must say it. However, the condition is that if they don't say it, then people will be free to believe whatever they want to believe, because the information that they have is not yet fully complete to create an understanding. All the information they have right now is that the game is not satisfactory to them on the Xbox Series S. That's it. But by and large, how about the PC platform? Isn't that a possibility, like Forspoken? Good question. Why did they not reach out to Microsoft to help with whatever optimization issues, like the Baldur's Gate 3 developers, or like even the Inotria developers got the community talking to get Xbox to respond to them so that they could get their games submitted for approval for Xbox? We know Xbox is a very, community-centered platform for the most part. Pressure put on Xbox really makes them move in many cases. We've seen it happen. And it's not like I'm giving you examples that are far out. You can find them yourself. So this is where I think the confusion continues to lie with Black Myth Wukong. That's it. That's it. My position is very simple. Until I hear the developers say we have no exclusivity deal in place, I'm Gucci. Until then, I remain skeptic because they haven't said there is none. Xbox hasn't said there is, but they said they can't comment on any. They didn't say there was, they just said they can't comment on anything that relates to exclusive deals. Simple. So, right now we're at an impasse. But my leaning is that PlayStation money out of this game. I mean, I'd like for the developers to prove me wrong. That's where I'll be able to get some confirmation. Or maybe Sony themselves, because they've been very quiet through this whole thing. And you know, it's their MO. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's their MO. It's what they would do. Like, they would do something like this. So this is why it's not hard for anybody to believe that this is a thing, even though it's all on conjecture. It's not without merit. It's not without grounds. It's not without a foundation of what they've done in the past. But it's interesting because when it comes out, it's going to, in a sense, vindicate someone. Someone's going to be vindicated and someone's going to look like a scummy. Peace out.